Whispers in the Library. Amidst the hallowed halls of the University of Eldoria stood the Lumina Library, a repository of knowledge that spanned millennia. Scholars from around the world flocked to its doors, but not all of its secrets could be found within the pages of its books. Elena, a doctoral student in historical linguistics, was drawn to the Lumina for her research on ancient civilizations. Deep into one evening, as the library's massive oaken doors were sealed and the grand hallways echoed with silence, Elena stumbled upon a section that wasn't on any map, the Whispering Isle. Books in this isle were ancient, their pages more like fragile leaves than paper. Yet, as Elena leaned in, she realized the books weren't silent. They whispered, their voices carrying tales not of this world but of countless others. Intrigued, Elena began her translation efforts. Each whispering book turned out to be a living entity, a guardian of memories from civilizations long lost to time. The stories spoke of galaxies far away, dimensions unknown, and chronicles of beings of pure energy. One book, in particular, caught her attention. It spoke not of another world but of Eldoria's future. The tale was cryptic, hinting at a great calamity. But it also alluded to a beacon of hope, a scholar who could bridge the gap between the past and the future. Believing this to be more than mere folklore, Elena shared her findings with Professor Dorian, a renowned historian. Skeptical at first, Dorian was soon convinced when the predictions from the book began coming true. Together, they formed a secret society dedicated to understanding these prophecies and preventing the impending disaster. Using a blend of ancient rituals and cutting-edge technology, they deciphered clues hidden within the whispers. The duo discovered that the calamity was linked to an astronomical alignment that would unleash a surge of cosmic energy, potentially tearing the fabric of their reality. The solution, however, lay in the past, in harnessing the collective knowledge of the ancient civilizations stored in the Whispering Isle. Working tirelessly, Elena and Dorian crafted an ethereal net using the essence of the Whispering Books, aiming to capture and diffuse the cosmic energy. As the celestial event neared, they cast the net into the sky from the library's highest tower. The sky shimmered with a dance of colors as the net absorbed the energy, saving Eldoria from certain doom. The library itself transformed, its walls adorned with celestial patterns, forever reminding visitors of the night the Lumina Library saved the world. Elena's discovery had changed the course of history. The Whispering Isle was no longer a secret, becoming a pilgrimage site for scholars and dreamers alike, all eager to hear the tales of the universe. One day in Berlin. The sun was barely beginning to cast its golden hue over Berlin when Aria stepped out of her apartment in Kreuzberg. It was not her first visit to the German capital, but today was different. She had 24 hours to find a memory she wasn't sure even existed. 20 years ago, as a child, she had visited Berlin with her grandmother, who had lived through the city's tumultuous past. Before passing away, her grandmother often spoke of a quaint cafe in Berlin where she and Aria's grandfather had exchanged love letters during the Cold War. All Aria had was an old photograph and a name, Kaufhaus. The image showed a small, ivy-covered cafe, with her young grandparents sitting by a window, their hands almost touching. Her first stop was Checkpoint Charlie. As she strolled through the historical site, now surrounded by tourists snapping photos, she overheard conversations in a myriad of languages. The weight of history pressed on her. She imagined the frantic escapes, the spies, and the divided families. Amid the remnants of the past, Aria showed the photograph to a few older locals. One elderly gentleman, his face etched with lines of time, recognized it. "Ah, Kaufhaus," he murmured, pointing her towards Mitte. In Mitte, the heart of Berlin, the juxtaposition of the old and new was striking. Sleek glass buildings neighbored ornate pre-war architecture. Art installations clashed and melded with historical monuments. Here, Aria felt the pulse of Berlin, the city's resilience and its transformation. After hours of wandering, a faded sign caught her eye, Kaufhaus. It looked different, more modern, but the ivy-covered facade was unmistakable. Inside, the cafe was a blend of eras, old wooden tables, modern art on the walls, and a playlist of vintage German pop songs mixed with contemporary hits. She approached the counter, showing the photograph to the barista, a young woman with piercing blue eyes and a cascade of blonde curls. "I know this picture," the barista said with a smile. "It's my grandparents. This cafe has been in our family for generations." Aria, taken aback, shared her story. The barista, Elise, led her to the very table from the photograph. Beneath the wooden tabletop, tucked away in a secret compartment, were dozens of letters tied with a blue ribbon, letters exchanged between Aria's grandparents and Elise's. They were tokens of a forbidden love, symbols of hope in a divided city. The day turned to evening, and Aria and Elise, bound by a shared history, sat at the same table. They read the letters aloud, laughing and crying at the tales of young love, defiance, and dreams of a united Berlin. The city outside buzzed with life, but within the walls of Kaufhaus, time seemed to stand still. As night fell, Aria left the cafe, her heart full, carrying with her a newfound connection and the stories of a Berlin that once was. After the war. Liam gazed at the worn photograph in his hand, the edges tattered and the colors faded. It was taken during the war, in a moment of respite, showing a group of soldiers, himself among them, laughing outside a tent. Their smiles betrayed no hint of the battles they had faced or the friends they had lost. Instead, it captured a brief interlude of joy amidst the chaos. Returning to his hometown after the war felt like waking up from a dream. The once familiar streets now bore scars, the remnants of warfare. Buildings he had grown up with lay in ruins, reduced to mere memories. Yet, the spirit of the town remained unbroken. Children played among the ruins, vendors hawked their goods, and the elderly whispered tales of pre-war times. Despite the semblance of normalcy, the shadow of war loomed. Liam struggled with the weight of his experiences. The sounds of laughter and daily life were often drowned out by the haunting echoes of gunshots and explosions in his mind. Nights were the worst, sleep eluded him as nightmares took hold. Walking through the market square, he unexpectedly bumped into Clara, a childhood friend and secret crush. They had lost touch during the war, with Clara volunteering as a nurse at the front line. Her once sparkling eyes now held a depth of experience and pain. Over a cup of tea in a makeshift cafe, they exchanged stories, some harrowing, others filled with hope and humor. Clara spoke of the soldiers she had cared for, the lives she had seen slip away, and the ones she had managed to save. Liam shared his experiences on the battlefield, the camaraderie with fellow soldiers, and the moments when hope seemed all but lost. As the hours passed, they found solace in each other's company. The shared trauma of war became a bridge, connecting their past and present. Their stories interwove, creating a tapestry of resilience and hope against the backdrop of conflict. One afternoon, as the golden rays of sunset bathed the town in a warm glow, Liam and Clara visited the war memorial. Names of the fallen were etched onto the stone, a testament to their sacrifice. Hand in hand, they paid their respects, each name evoking memories of friends and comrades. In the weeks that followed, Liam and Clara became inseparable. They embarked on a mission to rebuild not only the physical structures of their town but also the shattered spirits of its inhabitants. Together, they started community projects, from storytelling sessions where war veterans shared their experiences to art therapy classes for traumatized children. The war had taken much from them, but it had also given them a renewed sense of purpose. Through their collective efforts, the town slowly began to heal, transforming from a post-war ruin into a beacon of hope and resilience. Years later, as an old couple, Liam and Clara would often sit on their porch, watching children play in the square. The memories of the war never truly faded, but they were no longer haunting shadows. Instead, they served as a reminder of the human spirit's indomitable will to rebuild, heal, and find love amidst the ruins.